Alright, in this video, finally going to be reading a book like I promised. So, in this video we'll be reading Jim Henson's The Best Gift of All. Jim Henson's Muppets in the Best Gift of All. A book about generosity. In this story, Kermit and Skeeter see some guinea pigs in a pet store. And the next day, there's only one left. Could Skeeter have already bought one? Well, let's see. Kermit, you won't believe what I saw on Elm Street this morning, said Skeeter, as the two friends walked home from school. What was it? Asked Kermit. Come on, she said excitedly. I'll show you. Suddenly, Skeeter dashed up the street. Kermit couldn't imagine what Skeeter's surprise was. It must have been pretty neat if she was in such a hurry, he thought. Hey, Skeeter, called Kermit. Where you at? As Skeeter turned the corner, Kermit scrambled after her. When Kermit rounded the corner, he saw Skeeter standing in front of Wallaby's pet store. Her smiling face was pressed against the store window. Kermit joined his friend and gazed into the pet shop window. Staring back at him were three adorable, furry little creatures. What are they? He asked. Guinea pigs, explained Skeeter. Kermit had seen lots of guinea pigs in school, but none had ever looked like these three balls of fur. Mr. Wallaby says these are Peruvian guinea pigs. I don't know how to pronounce that. Maybe you guys could tell me, continued Skeeter. They're very rare. As Kermit and Skeeter watched, Mr. Wallaby carefully lifted one of the animals out of its cage. He took a red toothbrush from his shirt pocket and gently brushed the animal's fur. When the animal wrinkled its nose, Kermit giggled. Ah, it's adorable. The two friends walked home together from the pet shop. Skeeter told Kermit her plan. When Skeeter got his parakeet, my mom said I could have a pet too. Now I know what I want. Tomorrow is Saturday. In the morning, I'm going back to buy one of those guinea pigs. After he left Skeeter, Kermit kept thinking about those cute little guinea pigs. Kermit didn't have any pets. Once he had some tropical fish, but they hadn't lived very long. As he reached his house, Kermit made a decision. He wanted one of those guinea pigs too. He would ask his parents that night. Kermit's parents said yes, and so the next morning Kermit went up to the attic behind a box filled with his baby toys. He found a very old cage. My guinea pig will love this, he thought. Kermit cleaned the cage. Then he took an old newspaper and tore it into tiny strips. He carpeted the bottom of the cage with a layer of newspaper. After lunch, Kermit walked to the pet shop. When he arrived, there was only one guinea pig in the window. I guess Skeeter isn't the only kid who bought one of bought one this morning, he said to himself. Kermit hurried inside. Mr. Wallaby gathered the things Kermit would need. Oops! Mr. Wallaby gathered the things Kermit would need. He attached his special water bottle to the side of the cage. Then he handed Kermit a bag filled with little green food pellets. He also gave Kermit a booklet about caring for his new pet. Finally, he placed the last guinea pig in Kermit's cage. "I think I'll call you Widget," Kermit said happily to his new pet. Mr. Wallaby rang up the sale just as Kermit was handing him the money. The pet shop door opened, and in walked Skeeter. Ooh. I'll be with you in a moment, young lady," said Mr. Wallaby. Skeeter looked at Kermit and the furry little guinea pig. Then she looked in the window. "Where are the other ones?" she asked Mr. Wallaby. "I sold them first thing this morning," he replied. "Sorry." "Then I guess I won't be buying anything after all," she said sadly, and walked out the door. Kermit stood there stunned. So Skeeter hadn't gotten her guinea pig after all. Kermit didn't know what to do. He really wanted Widget, but he also wanted his friend to be happy. Finally, he placed the cage on the counter. "I'll be right back," he told Mr. Wallaby. Kermit dashed after his friend. He caught up to her as she was about to cross the street. "Skeeter, what happened? I thought you were gonna buy your guinea pig this morning." "I had errands to run with my dad," she explained. "I figured I had lots of time. I guess I was wrong." Kermit thought about how happy and excited Skeeter had been yesterday. "Skeeter, I'm sorry," he said sadly. "Don't feel bad," Skeeter said. "It's not your fault." Suddenly, Kermit knew what he had to do. "Come with me," he told his friend. Back in the store, Kermit explained everything to Mr. Wallaby. Skeeter saw the guinea pigs first," he said. "If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even know about them. So if it's all right with you, I'll take my money back, and you can sell Widget to Skeeter." Oh, how sweet is that? Mr. Wallaby gave Kermit his money back, and Kermit gave Widget to Skeeter. "You can have my cage too," Kermit told her. Skeeter hugged Kermit. "I know you really wanted this guinea pig. Thanks for giving it to me," she said happily, after paying for her new pet. She rushed home. Kermit felt a little sad as he watched Skeeter and Widget go, but he remembered the smile on Skeeter's face, and that made him smile too. "Young man," said Mr. Wallaby, "that was a very generous thing to do." As time passed, Kermit felt better about his decision. He was proud of himself for doing something generous, even though it meant it had been difficult to do. It was a month later when Skeeter called. "Kermit," she said, "come over here right away. I've got a surprise for you." When Kermit arrived at her house, Skeeter took him to see Widget, and there, cuddling with her, were 3 baby guinea pigs. My mom says I can keep one baby, said Skeeter. If you still want a pet, I'd like you to have the others, she said. Really? Kermit said. Really, said Skeeter. You did something special for me, Skeeter went on. I want to give you something special in return. Thanks, Skeeter, Kermit said happily. But you already have. Getting these guinea pigs is great, but letting you have Widget made me feel really good inside. And that's the best gift of all. Dang, my nose. Let's talk about generosity. There's a saying, the more you give, the more you get. Of course, you don't always get something back right away. The way Kermit did in this story, but doing something generous, always gives you a very special feeling. Here are some questions about generosity for you to think about. Did you ever give away something that was important to you the way Kermit did? How did you feel? Who has been generous to you? How did you show them that you appreciated it? Do you think there are ever times when you shouldn't give something away? Why? Alright, bonus. This is something my dad did with me and my brother when we were kids. Hey. Okay. Kermit went back to the pet store to buy one of the guinea pigs. Okay, Fatso, give me the pig! Mr. Wallaby gathered the things Kermit would need: a bruise, a black eye, and a bloody nose, and he trapped Kermit in a cage and hit him with a baseball bat. And he said, "Grow hair, frog, or I'll hit you with that baseball bat again." It doesn't really say that, but that was something my dad did with me and my brother when he would read to us when we were kids, and it just made me laugh so hard. I just had to put that in. So I promise there will be more book reading on this channel. This was one of my favorite books growing up. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on this video, hit the subscribe button, and share this video with your friends. It would mean so much to me to have so much more subscribers, because I consider everyone that subscribes to my channel a friend. Okay, bye!